It is another beautiful day in West Central Wisconsin, and welcome to season 2, episode 46 of Bang on the Drum. If you are listening at this point, please like, download, subscribe, delete the episode, resubscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Do all the
is that
things
the new trick?
I've heard it in a different intro to a podcast, but yes, we do appreciate all the support that we do get. But yeah, if you could share our stuff, if you enjoy it, we're looking to grow a little bit, but that's all I got.
Looking to grow a little bit.
Yeah, that's all I got on that stuff. Just like, subscribe. We got a YouTube channel now. Go subscribe to that if you subscribe to YouTube stuff. I never did before, but now that we have some stuff, I'll subscribe to other people's YouTube stuff. But go out there, just like our stuff. We appreciate it. But as always, I'm your host P Dog, joined alongside my co-host M Dog that I just cut out. How you doing, Mike?
Doing well. I'm gonna change it up a little bit today, and I'm just gonna jump right into my overs and unders. My under, and this might be my under for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it's just reframed, right? I'm getting really sick of the diet that I'm on for Lent. Really sick of it. I have multiple times now contemplated never dieting again and just not being lean.
How strict are you with it? You haven't broke yet. You just ate vegetables and meat.
Well, so I've got 2 fuck ups on my list for the 40 days, which isn't even 40 days, but that's not the fucking point. Another part of the problem that pisses me off, right? It's 46 days or something fucking dumb, which is not appropriate. Makes me dislike the Catholic Church even more, and maybe all churches altogether. But so my wife's birthday,
okay,
I went out and I ate whatever we had, right? Was what it was. I'm not too upset about that. Then must have been Saturday, we went out to dinner with my wife's family. And so I got meat, rice, refried beans, and a salad right?
Yes.
I don't know if rice and refried beans should fall into the diet.
I think they should, because the best shape I ever was in was coming back from Afghanistan. And I basically cut out all carbs besides rice. And I feel like there was something that I looked up that let rice, it didn't make me feel bad about eating rice. I think it was non-processed carbs or some shit like that. So I guess I could eat potatoes too. Can you eat potatoes?
So I don't eat potatoes, right? Because I feel like potatoes are not a healthy option, right? So I have healthier options. So no potatoes. Haven't eaten potatoes for whatever. It's been 40 days now. 30. It's been 38 days right now, and I have to go till the 9th, which is fucking bullshit.
Why is that? Is it always?
I'm not. Someone told me that Sundays don't count, but then I say, then you're not actually fucking doing anything. If you can only have the opportunity to do something, but you still have an opportunity once a week, that's bullshit. That's not real.
No, I really enjoy that. I think that makes it so much better.
That's fucking cake. There's no challenge to it though.
Yes, there still is.
No, there is not. Taking 6 days off of something is not hard.
I beg to differ. I think it keeps you on, even though I don't know. I get where you're coming from to a point, but I just think you're too strict with it. And then you also don't have any affiliation with the Catholic Church or anything.
I have some. I grew up Catholic my whole life, right? So until I was 18, every Sunday, I shouldn't say every Sunday, but the vast majority of Sundays, we were in like the third pew.
So what I've heard Lent is though, is like you're giving up this something. So like when you think of this something, you're supposed to think of like God and like
Think of Jesus?
appreciate.
No, it actually makes me angry. So it's like, it makes me appreciate things less.
But you'd be like, I'm doing this for you. Even though I don't get that, because like, I don't think I would make anybody do anything like that. Like if someone had told me like they weren't doing something because of me, like I would be like, please don't. Like, just enjoy life. That's what I died. That's what I died for, was so you could enjoy life.
Yeah, but I don't know, like, I don't think cult leaders like think like that.
Cult leaders. That's funny.
That's what, so I mean, so granted, the church is like a pretty established, like, I don't want to say well-run cult,
Entity.
because in the last, at least, I don't know, like 70, 80 years, they've been like a real problem in society with the raping of the kids. And if that's been happening forever, then we got real problems, right, in the church. And it probably has been happening forever. But
yeah, oh yeah,
like it wasn't out in the
was
open.
like common practice back in the day. You know, like
No, I don't think
way
so.
back in the day.
Maybe, but like I don't think it was like out in the open, right? So like the branch. So I just watched the thing on Waco, right? Did you watch the Waco documentary? It's a good one.
I did not, but I listened to a podcast that talked about it. But that makes a lot more sense.
Okay.
Why they were talking about it. Okay, and they knew so much about it. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
But yes,
so
I'm familiar. I'm familiar now.
Okay, but anyway, like he's openly having sex with like 13 and 14-year-old girls, right? Like people inside the church like know that it's happening. It's not some secret that's covered up by the church. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's the difference between like the modern day Catholics and those guys, is that even though it was assumed, right, in the Catholic Church, it's not like known. Like this is like comfortable and okay, we can do this. This isn't. That's what the guy was doing in Waco. Like he did not.
And everybody knew about that. Okay, so I'm
well,
not.
So like there's
that.
There's a quote on that documentary that says something along the lines of like he wasn't having sex with girls because girls become women at age 13.
See, I thought he was like having
super
sex
fucked up.
I thought he was.
And it might have been younger kids too.
Yeah, I thought he was having sex with like other people's wives and shit though too. Like
yeah, I think just like everybody, right? Like he was, I think, but I'm not sure. Anyway, that's the difference, is that like the Catholic Church is set up to structure your lives and to like an overall betterment, right? And that's why it didn't become like just like a weird cult thing.
Yeah,
because there's like, and I think that's the purpose of most religions. And when you start most religions, that's like the like basis of it, is like you can create a better life for yourself by following these principles, right? And the Catholic Church just did it either as well as everybody else or better than everybody else. They did a nice job with it. Like they figured it out. They hacked the system, right? So
yeah, and then like it got corrupt for a while, then they had to fix it, and then it gets corrupt, and then they have to fix it. But I mean, it's like anything out there. Like I don't think there's such a negative connotation that comes with being called a cult, and I don't think like the Catholic Church quite deserves that, even though like maybe if you do look at the numbers and like the body count of people who died in the name of Catholicism and religion and stuff, is probably got to be up there since it was created as one of the things that's killed the most people. But I don't know. I'm not a big church guy, and I got my issues with it. But I think we both kind of agree. Like it's put in place to like make people be better people. Like so, the purpose of it is good, but like as everything, shitty people twist and bend shit to fit their needs and take advantage.
There's bad actors that got to the top of the church at some point, whether that's locally to the top or like to the top of the whole deal, there were bad actors that got there. And like, I guess that is what it is.
And that's one of the things that's like most fascinating to me. Like, I think I don't know, I'm probably going to take a class this summer, but if I'm not, I think I'm going to try to at least listen to the Bible.
Do you think the
like,
Bible is like an audio like book? Is that
oh, I
it has to be,
guarantee
right?
you it has to be.
Is
Now.
there multiple characters?
I hope
Like,
so.
do they read it like a fiction book?
I mean, I hope so. That would be
That
way
would be
better
much
way to
better,
read
right?
it. But if not, I have like software on my computer that can read it for me. But I'm hoping I can get it in like podcast form. I bet you there's a podcast that just like reads the Bible like page by page,
Like,
because it used to be such like a daunting thing for me to look at. But I think I could finish that in a summer if I really wanted to. And I just am like more interested in like, I don't know, I'd probably like just take notes, because like when people come up with like religious talks, like they're like, you never heard about Abraham? And I was like, I don't know who the fuck Abraham is. And they're like, he had to kill his son to prove to someone that he loved them. And
Pat, maybe just watch Year One. Have you ever seen the movie
oh,
Year One?
is that like the spoof on?
Yeah.
Okay.
It, I think it's Jack Black, and I was thinking that it was
I think it's Michael Cera and Jack Black.
okay. Yeah.
That seems right.
Yeah, and they do
like
a lot
I
of like
remember
little
commercials.
like they do a lot of like little things in there. But there's a British comedian that is like really, really like anti-church, like he thinks it's like the dumbest thing in the world. And I can't think of what his name. He's like probably one of the most famous British comedians that I can think of, and I can't. Like,
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. He did like the Academy Awards and stuff like that. Ricky
yeah,
Gervais
and he's
or
Ricky Gervais. Yeah, and so like he does it. He did the invention of lying, which was when they created Jesus, apparently, and so
yeah, I think
I
lying
was thinking
definitely took place way before Jesus, but yeah, it's interesting stuff to me. Like, I think the history of religion, and then just what people believe in religion, and like what it's supposed to be taken as facts, it just blows my mind. Like, if some people believe some of the stuff that's in there, but
and like to be fair, I'm like 20 years out from like really being invested in any type of like religious entity, right? So I feel like probably in high school I was fairly invested in things and like cared and like tried to like know about the church, but like it's been 20 years,
yeah,
so
I'm just more
maybe not
interested
quite
in
19.
learning. More
Yeah,
so,
no, I
like
think
if I
that's
get in an argument that I'm like, oh, did you quote Peter Paul 3:11? I
yeah,
remember
and I
in
do think
CC.
that I think it's a good idea. I think it's a
Yeah,
good idea to like kind of understand where people are coming from with the Bible and like to understand what that is, right?
yeah, and it's just fun to shit on people for stuff. Like, I don't know, like, you believe someone got ate by a whale?
Survived, right?
Yeah. But yeah, we can move on.
Yeah. All right, I'll get into my overs. So the Mario Brothers movie is coming out on like I want to say like next Thursday or something like that, right? And the local theater that is pretty cheap is going to have it. So I'm pretty pumped that me and the Hood Rats are going to go see it.
Are all the kids going to be able to enjoy this one?
I think so. And like both my boys, so the little ones were like, Dad, we got to go see this movie. They saw a clip on YouTube or something like that, and they were super pumped for the trailer. So I was like, yep, we're in on this. I think this will be a good time. Nice little family outing.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a good one. From what I know, I'm looking up. So Chris Pratt, Charlie Day, so Jack Black. So yeah, Keegan Michael Key is in it as Toad. Jack Black's Bowser. Charlie Day's Luigi, Chris Pratt's Mario, and I love Chris Pratt and Charlie Day. Those are two of my favorite dudes. So it's gotta
Is
be
Charlie Day
good.
from
It's
Sunny?
all Sunny. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And Horrible Bosses.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, it's gonna be a good
yeah,
one.
so I'm like oddly excited to go to this movie. I don't really remember the last time I was excited about a movie, but this one I'm pretty excited about. So
Well, it's nice too that like it's kind of like meshing your childhood with your kid's childhood. I think that's kind of a cool thing when they like bring something back like that. Cause I remember playing Mario when I was like 6, like I'd have to be like standing up and like moving away from like the things that were like coming at you in it. So
yeah, and they play Mario Kart quite a bit, or at least Cam does, and then Jackson will pretend he's playing. They won't let him actually drive a car, but he
that was
pretends he's
actually
playing.
probably
So
what was happening to me when I thought I was playing.
it was just the computer playing for you, and you were like,
Yeah. No, like my dad was
moving around
playing,
and
they
shit.
unplugged my controller.
Yep, very possible. But then I also got invited to go on to a draft show with Let's Talk Sports for the draft. So pretty excited about that as well, which I did last year at one point, but I don't think it was with them. I think it was with Sports Buffoons last year that I went on their draft show. So
Yeah, I remember listening to it. You were pretty good on that. I hope this year they just have ironed out like people's audio and stuff like that. Because I remember there was
yeah, because there was one guy that was real quiet, right?
Yeah, it was something interesting, which kind of like took it away. I remember the host of whatever you were doing was real good. I was real impressed with that guy. And then there was just an audio issue that just takes away from stuff. I mean, we always have like our own audio issues and things like that, but this was like drastically bad.
Yeah, there was somebody I couldn't hear, I think, is what like I
And there was
remember from being in it.
And there was something like that was repeating. I think he was in it in 2 different ways, and yet whatever. But no, when is that?
Okay.
And where should people look for it if they're
So I don't have
big
everything ironed out, but the draft is going to be the 26th of April, I think. No, 27th of April is that Thursday, so it should be that the 27th should be that night. Gonna do that. And then who knows? Maybe I'll be on. I think his show again, right? So they had me on to say who I thought the Packers would kind of take, and I think I hit like 4 draft picks on that one.
nailing it. Do you that's kind of your
Wyatt?
strategy?
I hit Zach Tom. I don't know if in the right round or whatever, but
Is that kind of your strategy? Is like you try to pick who you think the Packers are actually going to pick, or do you try to pick who they should pick and then
who they
call
should
them
pick?
go?
I think it's more of a who they should pick for me, because I just went defense. So I didn't take a linebacker last year. So where they took Walker, I wasn't thinking like a linebacker. I think I took a corner or safety or something like that. But I like the idea that me and the Packers front office are thinking on the same lines. That makes me feel smart. So I'm happy about that. Kingsley and Igbari, I think I took him in like the 3rd round. They got him in like the 6th though.
They're a little bit smarter than you there in that.
Well, they got the right guy. He's a good player.
Nice. All right, you ready to move to mine?
Yeah, let's get into yours. How did your week go?
It was good. So like my unders for the week, it was a good week because it was very uneventful. So I don't got too much. But my under was I got absolutely punked by a goose in the park. I don't know if it has like eggs somewhere, but like so the place where I'm running, I found a new running app where it actually like trains you to run faster in like a different way. Cause like my dumb ass is like, okay, if I want to run faster, I just need to like run faster. Like that's all I got in it. But this kind of gives you like intervals to run like while you're doing it. And then the end of the run, like I was coming up on where I was gonna need to do like an extra little loop. Like where I run is pretty slickly put out. So like I was like, okay, I'm too far ahead of this. I'm running too fast. My shoes were like lighting up from flames and stuff. And then I got to like where I would normally end the run. And I was like, okay, I still got like 2 more intervals left. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this normal one. And then I'm going to come across this bridge to end it. And then I'll end in the exact same spot that I would have ended. Just adding an extra loop. I over explained the shit out of that. But anyways, I am in a dead sprint running as fast as I can. And I need to go over this bridge. And I see 2 geese out in front of me. And I know geese aren't like very friendly animals. I think that's where they get the like grumpy goose
Yeah, they're
saying
assholes.
from. Yeah, but like I'm sprinting, I'm seeing these goose. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna end like a little bit before I get to these geese. And I was gonna peel like because they were sitting right on the sidewalk. So I was like, I'm just gonna peel and like walk around them. But I'm like dead tired. And this fucking goose just comes after me and it's yelling. Like I have my headphones in, so I can't see it, but like its mouth's like wide open and it's yelling. And I'm like trying to catch my breath. I didn't have like the wherewithal in me to like put like pause my headphones so I could actually hear what's going on around me. So I like turn back around and I start like walking away from this goose like pretty fast. And then this goose is still coming at me because I keep like looking over my shoulder. So then I had to like turn around, get in like a linebacker stance or some shit, or like an athletic stance. And I just yell as loud as I can, like scream at the goose. Cause I'm like, I do not want to fuck with a goose right now. Like, I don't want that story to be on my record that like a goose like got the best of me. Cause I heard they can like, I don't know, like
Yeah, they
seriously
can be
hurt
mean,
you.
right? Like they're aggressive.
I'm confused at like how it would hurt me really bad, but like I also didn't
Yeah, I
want
don't know
to
how you'd
kill.
get hurt necessarily, but like they're ballsy for sure. They'll do whatever.
Oh yeah, but yeah, after I yelled, the little bitch backed down. But then I didn't like. I probably yelled loud enough, and it wasn't like a super busy time at that park. But I guarantee you, someone heard me. And I was just like, when I was walking away, I was like, I hope nobody's seen that interaction with me and that goose. But I was legitimately scared, and I haven't had a wild animal come after me like that in a while, if ever. I don't remember an animal charging me like that. Um, but yeah, it was just kind of embarrassing. And I was like, but it punked me so bad. So it was like the Billy Goat's gruff. And so it must have like eggs over there because you can't walk over that bridge. Like those 2 geese are just sitting there waiting to fucking beat some people up. So I might
Sounds like
have
goose
to.
season in Florida. You
I
guys having
know
goose for Easter?
we should. I might bring my dog. He's a little tough guy. I think he wouldn't back down from these geese if they came after him like me. But yeah, it's the trolls that live on this bridge. But I assume they have eggs that they're protecting or something
I would
because
imagine so.
they're always right there. I don't go over that bridge normally, but I run by it enough where I'm like, yeah, those same goose are there. Because even the day I ran it, I was like, weird to me that those geese are always there. And then sure as shit, I tried to like go by them and they tried to fuck me up. So I don't
Yeah,
know. I'll
that's
just
it.
leave them alone. That's their home. They're there all the time. So I guess I'll
Or
give them that.
kill them and eat some geese. Florida probably has no rules about killing geese.
I bet you there's a rule about geese. I remember
All
some
right.
people on a golf course it might have been Sparta got in pretty big trouble for messing with some geese. sometimes.
Yeah, there's geese all over the fucking Sparta course.
Yeah.
They're
Oh, yeah.
always there.
Poop all over the place. Even on the
Yeah.
college campus, there's quite a few geese. There's geese here all the time though. I don't know, we're like a bird haven. Because how I was saying on the last show about the Cardinals and stuff and seeing too many Cardinals, there's just a shit
Yeah.
ton of Cardinals down here. I don't think it's a sign anymore. It's just like there's Cardinals all over the place.
You've
So
lost your sign, huh?
it, I don't know. Or maybe it's just a good sign that I live in a place where there's a lot of Cardinals. So
Yeah,
like I said, didn't have too bad of a week. But yeah, then I have one more under. We did have an episode scheduled. I'm gonna call them out, but we've been hunting a white whale on our show that we've been trying to get on for some time. I don't know if I'll say we. I've been trying to get him on for some time. Yep. I made the perfect test to figure out if he was a man or a mouse, and then I didn't even get to use it. But in his defense, he does have a very good excuse on why he wasn't coming on. So I won't shit on him too bad, but we need to get him on. But I don't think we're going to do the Elite Eight now. We got to set up for next year. We're going to do the Elite Eight of NFL defenses since 2000. But spoiler alert, or not spoiler alert, but who would have you picked? Who's your champion of defenses since 2000?
It would have probably been one of the Ravens teams. I like those Ravens teams, both the 2000 and the 2006 team. Having a guy like Ed Reed on a team, like I just love a really good, like physical safety. So like I guess Palomalo could have been falling in that same thing, but
yeah, and mine was hands down the Bucks defense because they got John Lynch, Dexter Jackson. If you like safeties, talk about sexy safeties right there. Rondé Barber, Simeon Rice, Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, like that defense, like I'll never forget. But yeah, it would have been an interesting show, but we'll save it for a different time. And then I'll go into my overs here. My over is I finally renewed my license plate so that it expired.
How far over was it?
3 months, only 3 months. But
yeah, you guys are heathens down in Florida. I mean, I get it.
Oh no, man. That's just how I used to roll. I think I've been better about it the past few years, like where I get it on time, but I used to just drive until I got a ticket and then I would renew it at that point. But it feels so much better. But I used to think like I just wasn't aware of it because I would get anxiety like driving all over the place. I'd be like, I can get pulled over at any time because my registration's up. So that just would like bother me. So like anytime I saw a cop, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna get pulled over for this. And now I still like my I don't know. I still get glimpses of like, oh shit, is that a cop behind me? And now I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good. So like then it's like an instant relief and I feel good about myself. But
I think that because I'm generally speeding.
That's true. So I don't know if I got into this last episode, but I was at drill 2 weeks ago or whatever. Whenever I was at drill last, I got pulled over for going 20 over. My registration was up. I had two of the people from my unit in the car. And yeah, that's as much as I will tell. But yeah, I got pulled over and I was like, oh shit, like my registration's up. Like I'm going 20 over. Like,
is that why you renewed your shit?
Yeah. And I now I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I get pulled over and he's walking back to the car and I'm apologizing to the two people I have in the car with me. I'm like, I'm sorry. I lied immediately. I probably shouldn't say that out loud. But like I was like, oh, I thought it had expired at the end of March, which is kind of a plausible story because like that's like when I got my license. But anyways, I tell the people in the car, I'm like, I knew my registration was up. I'm sorry, guys. And I just thought it was going to turn into like a longer process. But the guy came back to the car. He's like, just slow down and renew your plates. Like, I don't
Oh,
know
that
how
was
I
nice
got
of
away
him.
with that one. Yeah, no, it was
Were
it
you
was super nice.
were you in your greens?
No, I
Or
wasn't
maybe
in
they're
any.
not greens. You
No,
weren't
I
in
wasn't
uniform?
in
Okay.
any form of uniform. He asked where I was going, and we were heading back to base. We had just went out to eat, and I was like, yeah, we're just heading back to base. But they did, I don't know if it's, I guess I haven't been pulled over in a while, but they did approach my car very aggressively where I thought there might be a problem. Like,
Yeah,
it
so
looked,
I think I talked about getting pulled over by a guy I went to like middle school with, right? And
yeah,
like even the way he walked up on my car, and he would have like already had to have known whose car it was, right? So he's almost for sure run the license plates. And so like in like even him, like he walked up on my car like way differently than I would expect if you know who's in that car. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I guess it had been a long time since we'd seen each other, but still, like,
Yeah, and I had two cops. So like one was on my side, one was on like the passenger side. And I was so nervous because I knew my registration was up and like I didn't think I was going 20 over though. It was definitely an area where it was like a speed trap because I'm not a speeder for the most part. Like I'm a everyday like 5 over guy.
yeah,
Like that's it. But yeah, I was so nervous about and embarrassed because I had people in my car. Like I was like,
yeah,
and then even afterwards, like I was still like kind of like shook by the experience because I was like, oh shit. Especially when he told me I was going 20 over too. Like I was like, that's a decent sized ticket. Like, I don't know. I'm bad with cops in general. I ended up missing going to the front gate and driving down the road, having to do a U-turn and then like turning back around. Like I was frazzled. It was an embarrassing experience for me. But
yeah. I bet. Yeah, getting pulled over is never pleasant. But it's a good thing you got your plates renewed.
yep, finally. You ready to bark about the Bucks here?
Yep.
All right. As always, I'm gonna try to be a little bit quick. So since the last episode, Bucks played 4 games all on the road, and they went 3-1 in these games. So we'll get into it here real quick. So first off, on Friday, March 24th, Bucks take on the Jazz in Utah. No Middleton, no Portis, and the Bucks absolutely shit pumped the Jazz in this game, whooping their ass from front to back. Team shoots lights out. And they had 42 assists in that game. That number like jumped out at me. Then I went and I checked, and like since that game, I don't think they've had over 28 in the game, and either have their opponents. So 42 assists in a game, just crazy. And I
That
want
does
to,
seem like a crazy high number.
yeah, but if you look at the shooting percentages in that game too, is they shot 56% from the field, 44% from three. So like any pass that led to a shot was
Yeah.
like basically going in. But yeah, they had 42 assists to the Jazz's 28. But anyways, they were sharing the ball well. Like I said, no Middleton, no Portis. Grayson Allen has a huge game, leads the team in scoring with 25 points. And just everybody in the game. I mean, everybody on the team got action. I want to say the most anybody played was Pat Connaughton with 29 minutes. So it was a big split of time, but I'm already spending too much time on this game. But it's a game where it's an ass whooping when Thanos I can never say Thanos is I just want to say Thanos gets in the game and scores 4 points. And it is just weird to me that the Bucks carry him just because of Giannis. Like, do you think? I mean, the Bucks are so good right now that there's not gonna be any animosity in the locker room. But if the Bucks weren't as good as they were, don't you think like somebody would be like, hey, dude, we need to give that spot to a different guy?
No, I don't think so. I think because like a NBA team is usually about 15 people deep, and really you're not using the last 5 on your bench ever. Like if you're going 10 deep, that's super, like you have a super deep rotation. He's just the 15th guy on the bench. That could be anybody, I think, for the most part.
I guess so. And I mean, if you get Giannis on your team, I would take it no matter
Yeah.
what. Like, I'm not saying like it's egregious by any means, but it's just interesting to me because I feel like somebody would be like, if that motherfucker wasn't on the team, you know, the guy that we just signed to the 10-day contracts and shit. Like, well, if Thanasis wasn't on the team, like there won't be
I could just be on the team. Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. Like, keep your superstar player happy, I think is just fine. Right.
And I think Thanasis is probably a great guy to have in your locker room because he's not expecting much either.
And maybe he can play defense ridiculously good, and he just can't do anything offensively. It's not ridiculously good, but maybe it's plus.
I don't think so, dude. Because like anytime you look at his like plus minus, whenever he's on the court, it's like -5. But then you gotta also credit that to like he's on the court with all of the second team. Like he's never on the court.
Yeah, it's not just him
with
that makes it on the
Giannis.
court with the starters.
Yeah, so the Bucks win this game by whatever that is, 28, 30, damn near 30 points. Yeah, 28 points. And Thanasis is plus minus is -5. So, and I mean, there's a couple other guys that are minus, but whatever. Let's move on here to the next game. So then they head out to Denver to play the Nuggets. So could be an NBA championship preview. The number 1 seed in the East takes on the number 1 seed in the West, and the Bucks get their poop push right back in. And I think an important thing to note in this game. So this was the next day after playing the Jazz, because watching this one live, the Bucks looked pretty damn good for like the first half, and then the third quarter hit and the Nuggets just put the gas pedal down and took off on them. Ultimately though, the Bucks didn't shoot very well from 3, shot 25%, and Jokic and Murray are both beasts. They both went off in that game. Jokic had 31 points. Murray had 26 points, but I think that's a fairly reasonable loss for the Bucks in that game. But then moving on, March 27th, Monday, they take on the Pistons, and they got right back on track. Giannis even sat this one out. Game was never really in doubt for the Bucks. All the big dogs in this game that did play showed out. Chris Middleton led the team, 34 points, but then Portis, Lopez, and Carter all had over 20 points in this game. Pretty easy win for the Bucks. Pistons are a fairly dog shit team, 16-59 on the season, so pretty easy win there for the Bucks. And then to clean it up, except for mentioning the Boston game after this, Bucks go to Indiana, play the Pacers, no Middleton. The Bucks played a great game. They beat the Pacers 149-136. Drew Holiday had a career high 51 points, along with 8 rebounds and 8 assists. One of his best performances of his whole entire career. I guess career high would kind of give that one away. And then Giannis had a triple-double as well, 38 points, 18 rebounds, 12 assists. And just a great game from the Bucks in that one. Another game where they shoot lights out, share the ball well. And then I was watching the Boston game, and that game scared me. I don't know. Were you tuning into that one before the the show, Mike?
No, and I wasn't even really paying any attention to it. So I wasn't like trying to track it or nothing. But I mean, they got stomped on. They got beat by 41. Pat's making it sound like the Bucks were trying to play in that game and just either didn't or couldn't, right? That is concerning.
Oh, it was
But how
it was
like
very concerning to me. Like the Bucks just absolutely get pumped. Like I guess I say very concerning. I was talking to you before the show, and I was kind of saying it reminded me of the scene in The Replacements when Flacco said they were in quicksand, but nothing was working for the Bucks in this game. Like the harder
I
they
think
tried,
on
the
a,
worse it got.
yeah, I think on occasion that happens to you though. Like you just have a game or something like that where like I mean, and honestly, they had that game against the Nuggets too. You're shooting 25% from three. Like to expect to win a game is not really realistic, especially against one of the best teams in the league. So you're going to have to figure something out here in the next, I don't know, what do we got left? Like 10
Yeah.
games, 15
Yeah.
games. We don't have very
No.
many games left. It's not
Yeah,
15
no,
though.
it's like no, it's closer to 5 games.
We're
left
at
in the season.
76 games, so we got 7 games left. No,
No, I think it's
76.
6.
Six
We'll
games.
shoot
Yes.
the middle. Yeah, but like I said, they got punked. It looked bad. Giannis was playing, Middleton was playing, Lopez was playing, Howard was playing, Grayson Allen was playing, Bobby Portis was playing. Like everybody was playing, and Tatum just went off. He wasn't missing. Jaylen Brown wasn't fucking missing either. So their big dogs were barking in this game, and they're the 2 seed. They're second best team in the East, and they got a team. It's not going to be easy road. I was kind of blind, had my blinders on. I was only watching the Bucks, watching what the Bucks do. Bucks are whooping teams' ass left and right. I did catch like one Celtics game where I was like, ooh, they might be scary. And they are. They're scary. It's not going to be a cakewalk into the finals, like my brain was telling me when I was only watching the Bucks and no Celtics.
Yeah, I think the Celtics, they're going to be like it's not going to be a 4-game series with the Celtics. But I'm not actually worried yet because I don't know. Like if you get into the quicksand and you get into like the bullshit of a game where everything's going wrong, I don't know if you like stay there very long in the NBA. Right. And I think that game can get very, very bad, but I don't think that you stay there over multiple weeks in the NBA generally.
No, I do think it's a bad game. They mentioned in the broadcast, and it's just a fact. Like Boston didn't have a game last night. We went and played the Pacers last night in a pretty high energy game. Like, sure, they ended up beating the Pacers by 13, but they had to score 149 points to do it. So it's not like it was an easy game in Indiana, and then they come back, and Boston is already in Milwaukee ready to play them. So it is that, I guess I give them the cheap out that,
I think
Boston had
back-to-back
more
games
rest.
do affect you too. I mean,
Yeah.
like to pretend that it doesn't affect you at all is silly. Like I get that they get paid to play basketball. Like they shouldn't be complaining about it or nothing, but it has to affect the way you function in a game. It's just like going out and running. If you run 10 miles yesterday, going out and running 10 miles today is going to be tougher. It's just the way it goes. But still, you got to put up a better fight than that, maybe, or maybe lull them into a false sense of security. They're playing the long game. That's all that's happening.
I do think the Celtics did show their hand in this game, which is kind of like a positive that ended up coming out of it. is we know how they're going to play Giannis, and they're just going to try to suffocate Giannis. So winning this series, we're going to need another guy to get hot. And in this game, it just wasn't happening. Like, there's bricks. Giannis pounds it down low, gets right next to the rim, misses. I wouldn't quite call it a bunny, but like he misses shit that he isn't normally missing. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm just a little bit more concerned than I was before I saw this game.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Losing by 41 points at home. It's never a great feeling, right?
Nope.
I don't think.
Nope. Probably not the best, most positive thing you could do. Keep that game close, make them work a little bit, but
you ready for the Badgers?
Yeah, so we'll bark about these fucking whatever they did on fucking Sunday night. The Badgers lose to North Texas 54-56 in the NIT Final Four. All right, so that doesn't sound like the worst news in the whole world, right? They did not score a bucket for 9 minutes and 6 seconds, I believe, to end the game. It gets you a big like, what the fuck are we doing here? Doesn't really bode well for you. Now, looking at records here, I am really surprised North Texas did not make the tournament.
Yeah, because Conference USA, so they're showing it right now. So the Alabama team, the Dragons, and North Texas are in the championship. So Conference USA is definitely taking home the NIT right now. Charlotte is in the other college basketball tournament that's like below the NIT, and they're in the championship. And then FAU, the winner of the Conference USA, is in the Elite Eight in the actual tournament. So Conference USA is putting on
they're in the Final Four.
Right?
Like FAU made the Final Four.
Oh yeah, Final Four. What? My bad.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think they lost. I just, right. So they're in the. Yeah, so I don't get how you don't make the tournament. You had what 20? You were 26-7, 27-7, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was one of those leagues like, so if FAU lost, they were definitely making the tournament. They were a tournament team.
Either way, they were what, an 8 or a 9 seed. Yeah.
Yeah. So if North Texas wins, makes Conference USA a 2-bid league. I think if they weren't already a 2-bid league, I don't know if there was another Conference USA team.
There could have been, right?
In the mix. But yeah, I ended up running into a guy at the gym I go to, and he's an FAU alum. He's probably like 65 to 70, but he is a basketball watcher, like through and through, like just a basketball.
He's loving it, huh?
Oh, and he's been watching this team all season, and I wish I would have talked to him. He could have talked me into FAU
them in the Final Four
tournament. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, because he doesn't seem super surprised by it, but they're deep as shit, and that's what he was telling me. He was like, they play 10 guys consistently, where I guess if we want to tie this back into the Badger game, the Badgers starters scored 51 of their 54 points. So there's like,
which is not
depth,
ideal.
No depth in this. There's no 6 guy coming off the bench scoring points. Like, no.
And like at about the 4-minute mark, that's when you put that guy in. Hey, we need any bucket you can give us right now. Like, get the ball in the hoop. I feel like that's pretty consistent of the Badgers, is that they'll go on these like streaks where they can't hit nothing. But 9 minutes is excessive. That's so long without like any kind of points.
Yeah. So the Badgers took a 41-29 lead into halftime. And I want to say when they scored their last point of the game, so when they hit 54, they were up by like at least 8 at the time. So what, yeah, 54-46 with 9 minutes to go. Don't score another bucket. And
Not even a free throw. You're not getting a free throw in that time.
yeah,
Fucking ridiculous.
yeah, it was bad. Because I text you like at halftime, and I was like, I think this Badgers team going to the NIT is a lot better than them making the tournament and losing early. Like,
yeah, I think that the confidence could have been there. If you win this game, yet maybe you don't win it, but you go to the finals, like you prove that you can beat some good basketball teams.
Yeah, because North Texas, I mean, like you said, they're 30-7. Like they're
there's 3 or
decent.
4 games they played so far. So
Yeah, but I don't know. I think that kind of took away all the momentum of that. Like, I definitely felt like I ate my words before the end of the game. Like, I was like, well, that was stupid of me for thinking that. Like,
no, I think you're right. I think that a win, like winning the NIT, can really propel a team forward. And a lot of that team's going to come back. So I guess this is in our hot in the streets section of it, but Jordan Davis is entering the transfer portal, which I actually think is not great. I like him coming off the bench. I think that he can be a positive player, get a few points here and there. You know, he's not a superstar by any means, but I think he functions well inside the Badger system. So I'd rather not see him go, but that might be an effect of like because you lost this game.
well,
That, like,
and he didn't see the floor in this game. I don't know if that was because of an injury.
I have no
or
idea
anything.
what his reasonings were, like, for not, but like defensively, you could have used him. If you're not going to score buckets anyway, you could put him on the floor defensively. He's better than Esijan on defense for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, now that you say it too, he did average like 20 minutes a game, but he only did average 5 points, 3 rebounds, a half of an assist. I don't think it's like a huge loss. He's a junior, I guess, for some experience, but what the R dog was saying in our text chain, it looks like he's gonna not laterally transfer. Like, it seems like he's gonna transfer into Horizon-ish league where he'll get more playing time. So I get that. Like, if you're just like, hey, I just want to have fun and play basketball my last year,
Yeah.
I don't want to be the 7th man off the bench of a average Badgers team.
Yeah. If it was a great Badgers team, it'd be a different thing, right?
Yeah. But I get it. So yeah. Hopefully he goes
And then I
somewhere
think-
where he can be a guy.
And then I think that there's another guy, like Wall might be gone too, right? So, and Wall's one of the major pieces of the team, but I think for the most part, the majority of the Badgers are staying. And I don't know if Wall has to leave or if he doesn't have to leave. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I'm kind of confused with the COVID year because he's
Right.
definitely a senior this year, but I don't know if he has like the COVID extension. Actually, no, I think those are running out. I think that this year would be the end of the COVID extension.
well, so he would have definitely been on the team in 2020 if he's a senior this year,
so maybe
right? The
next
year that they
year's the
took it
end of
away.
Okay.
I don't know.
That makes sense. Like, the math just adds up. So it would be 4 years after it happened, like when those extensions would be coming due. So yeah, no, I think the Badgers are going to
Yeah, he would have been a
all the way.
freshman, I think, that 2020 year.
Yeah.
Who knows though? I mean, like, doesn't matter. And it could have last 2 more years because guys that were like redshirted during that year, maybe they wouldn't be allowed to take that COVID year or whatever. Yeah, it doesn't matter. right? So he's either going to be there or he's not. We'll figure it out later, probably around November next year, whether he's still around or not.
I mean, it is definitely a big piece. Like, I think if Tyler Wall stays, like, I think the Badgers have a legitimate shot of being a contender
Yeah,
in the
a
Big
top
Ten
15
next year.
team in the country.
Yeah, and I think if he
I would agree.
leaves, I'm not saying that's not in the realm of possibilities, but I think it's a little less realistic.
Yeah, I get that.
A fifth year senior, but yes, we can go wherever you want to go now.
Yeah, well, we'll turn left and we'll drive fast. So we'll get into Martin Truex Jr. He finished 17th in the Circuit of the Americas race, which is a road course. Not like you said, he's probably just above average and not. You had some good explanation that you were pulling right out of your ass about what kind of driver he was on the road races. Tyler Reddick ended up with the checkered flag in this one, but Martin Truex Jr. still needs to. And I think they were saying that he tried to pull some stunt and then he got caught not having fresh tires or something like that, and then ended up losing.
Yeah, you paid more attention to that race than I did. That race kind of slipped me.
Yeah, you missed that one. That one
yeah,
you missed, right?
Yeah, I don't miss too many races, but yeah, MTJ is really good at driving straight and turning left, but not always the best at when he needs to throw those right turns in there. It just adds a wrinkle to the plan. 17th, I'll take it at the Coda race. So
yeah. All right. So we're going to get into the actual big news of the day. It's Brewers opening day. Spark about the Brewers a little bit here, Pat.
It is opening day, and it wasn't as great as I wanted it to be, but it was great. I cracked a beer, got back from school. I had an issue with my MLB ticket thing. That probably could have been another under. Didn't get to see the opening pitch, but anyways, it was a rough start to the Brewers season. Losing their first game to the Cubs, 0-4. It was so it was 4-0, like I said, and all the runs came in the third inning, which was a pretty sloppy inning. There was an error, I want to say by Adames in that inning, and that was it though. That was all the scoring came in the fourth. Corbin Burns goes 5 innings, gives up 4 earned runs, and then the thing that was kind of disappointing was the Brewers were 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. And that was kind of our woes of last year. So, like, they didn't get that monkey off their back quite yet. So, all the pessimistic Brewer fans are like, oh, shit, here we go again. Another season where we're not going to hit with runners in scoring position. I'm going to chill out a little bit. It is just one game. But I will say this one game did affect me more than I thought it would, because, like I said, I cracked that beer, got in the game. I think it was still the Brewers were still up to bat, so I didn't miss too much of the game. The pitch clock was absolutely amazing. I didn't look at the time of the game. I think they do normally stamp that right in the stats. But it flew by. Like, I want to say the game started at 2:15 my time, and then it was over. So it was over in 2 hours and 21 minutes. Amazing.
Yeah, interesting. So if that's more like a college basketball game that's like 2 or 2.5 hours, that changes kind of what it is, right?
I loved it. So I will take what it is any day, all day. I think they figured something out to make the game more interesting. I think there's been some points that have like risen up like late in the game when you're changing people around in a close game. But this game wasn't really close enough to see what exactly it's going to be, like high stakes, 1-run game. in the
Yeah.
ninth, you're trying to line a left-handed reliever against a left-handed hitter type deal. But what I saw today, I loved. It moved the game along way faster, and it was great to see. I think there was at least one time where the Cubs pitcher did not get the ball off in time, and then it was an extra ball. So
Yeah.
it's seeing that, and it wasn't that bad. Like, it was like, okay, whatever, put a ball on.
Right, and it was done. All right, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. I was gonna try to tune in at work, and then I kind of started playing bingo and didn't get around to it. So
Bingo was
it's
king
my
today.
fault.
So,
Well,
but yeah,
I have to like change the day room TV in order to put it on too, and it's probably not my best decision.
yeah,
But they can watch some baseball. They're all old people. They should love it.
yeah. And now that it's like sped up, 2 hours and 21 minutes to watch a baseball game, man, I'll take that.
Yeah, but when you don't score any runs, that's part of the reason it's fast.
That's true. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. But yeah, the Brewers threatened early, and then it didn't come up. Yelich was 0 for 2.
But it's the start of another great baseball season. Baseball season, in my mind, never starts until April 1st. Like, that's just the way my brain works. Like, I think April 1st should be opening day no matter what. Like, you just start on April 1st. That's the whole deal.
And then you can trick people.
No, you just start on April 1st. Like, that's what I feel like it should be. You shouldn't start before. You shouldn't start after. Every team, April 1st, you play.
And then you could be like, the Brewers aren't playing today. April Fools, it's opening day.
Yes, you could do that. You could do that. Yep.
Every year.
Or
so it could be a joke every single year.
Yeah, it'd be a good one too, right? So I'm not worried if they don't win until April 1st.
All right. I like it.
If we got 0 wins on April 1st, then I'll be concerned.
And they're not playing another game. Well, they won't. Yeah, they will be 0-1 April 1st.
Wait,
they're not playing tomorrow.
Okay, so they're taking this. They started. See, this is dumb. Why? Like, that's a dumb off day. Just give them this day off and play on Friday. Start it for a weekend series, Friday night game.
Yeah, I feel like it's always like this, though. It's always the teams who play on opening day. Never mind. I won't say that, because I think there is sometimes like they play into it, but whatever. It is what it is.
I just think it's dumb. Baseball. Come on,
to
do better.
April 1st.
All right, we got to get a win in game 2 then. All right.
We will.
Yeah, we're gonna transition to hot in the streets. My hot in the streets. Start baseball on April 1st, like real Americans would. And then we touched on Jordan Davis entering the transfer pool. Aaron Rodgers.
Final four. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, final four. Who do you want to win it? So we got FAU, we have Miami, UConn, and
San Diego State University.
San Diego State. All right. So I think San Diego State is who I want to win it. Don't know why. Have no legitimate reason. I was thinking I was leaning towards Miami, but I didn't remember San Diego State was in it. So I'm going with San Diego State.
I want FAU to do it just for the old guy
I get
at the
that.
gym.
Yeah, I get that. That makes perfect sense to me. I'd be fine with FAU getting there too. Be fine with me.
Just not UConn, I guess, ultimately. I don't want to see another year where like the tournament like shaked out and it was crazy. And then we still have Duke or UConn or Kentucky.
Yeah, still have a blue blood win it.
Yeah.
That's probably what'll happen. But no, I think Miami's got a real squad. I think they like have a real good chance at winning it. But I don't know. That's just things I've heard in the last couple of weeks. I hadn't heard anything about them before this. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go with San Diego State. I like their mascot. The Aztecs is a cool one.
So UConn is -5 to win that game. And then in the other game, or 5.5. And then in
And
the
that's
other game,
Miami versus UConn, right?
yeah, Miami, UConn. UConn's -5.5. And then the San Diego State versus FAU, San Diego State is -3. So Vegas thinks it's San Diego State versus UConn, but we'll
All
see.
right.
I'm
right.
hoping Miami. I'm hoping it's an all Florida final. So that's what I'm going.
Yeah, Miami versus FAU. Yeah. I mean, you could root for that. It's a good rooting interest. All right. So you got FAU in this one, and I got San Diego State, I suppose, huh?
Let's go. Let's
go. All right. We'll move on to a little bit of Packers talk with two different things. I'm going to start with the bottom one here. Bisaccia is kind of killing it, and he's getting a bunch of special teamers signed. It looks like we're going to make a real attempt to stay as a plus special teams team in 2023, which I'm super happy about. Right? Turn us into the people are going to hate this comment. Maybe there's got to be a different one. Turning us into the Dante Hall Chiefs those years. I was going to say the Devin Hester Bears, but I don't want to be the fucking Bears ever.
Yeah, the 2005 Bears. That is kind of a fun team to watch. But yeah, I think you could go with Dante Hall and the Chiefs, and you could also go with just the 49ers model of how they are right now. Is not have a quarterback, but everything else is rock solid.
Yeah, I wonder who I could have went with the 96 Packers. They had Desmond Howard on that team.
But they also had
special teams.
Brett Favre. I think the comparison is more even when you're like, hey, we're going to win this with defense, special teams, and running the ball. Whereas the Packers had the defense, special teams, and then they also had Brett Favre.
Yeah,
and then Dorsey Levens and Edgar Bennett. So they were just
really stacked. The only downfall on that team was that a bunch of wide receivers got hurt. I want to say Brooks and Antonio Freeman both got hurt that year. And then we had to bring in Bad Moon Rising. Don Beebe, I think, was one of them. Schrader was one of them.
Yeah, it was Schrader on that team? I don't think so. I think he came afterwards. A year later. Yeah.
Okay.
A year or two later, Bill Schrader.
But I remember we had to sign Andre Rison just to have a legitimate wide receiver threat.
Yeah, I feel like Robert Brooks went down versus the Redskins in week 13 or something like that. Because I remember I was like, they did it on purpose. They broke his ribs.
Yeah, they might have. Good for
them.
I
feel like Mark Chimura was even hurt during the Super Bowl too.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember him being a big piece of the Super Bowl for sure.
I remember him in the Broncos Super Bowl when the ball looked like it hit him. It was on a punt, and it looked like it bounced in between his legs, but it looked like it might have touched him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's.
And they get the ball or no?
I don't think they did, but the game was already downhill. That was my first taste of inevitably losing and feeling that feeling when the team's just there's still maybe 10 minutes left of the game, but you just know you're not going to win it anymore. Just that empty feeling. Yeah. And then I cried.
All right. Yeah. So special teams, I think we're going to be good special teams wise. We're going to try to keep the work hard guys that we signed last year and brought them in, and we're in good shape, right? We probably need an actual kick returner. No, punt returner. Nixon is a kick returner, not a punt returner, right?
I mean, I think he could
I think
double
he can
for
do it. Right. But I don't think that that's his specialty.
Didn't Bisaccia, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's taking on more than just the special teams coordinator.
Yeah,
this
he's the
year.
assistant head coach now too.
Okay. Yeah. I like
I
that.
don't think it's the assistant to the head coach. I think he's actually the assistant head coach.
Okay, good. Because yeah, we don't want that title attached to him. But yeah, that's cool that we get to keep him. I have no clue how, after what he did with the Raiders the previous year, and then what he's done for the Packers since he's got
Yeah,
he turned like the
I don't get
worst.
it.
But yeah, he's
don't
got
get
to
it.
be able to get a job somewhere else. But this might be our last year of it, so let's take advantage of it while we got him.
Right. Yep. And then, like, I mean, in the most obvious news of the day, Aaron Rodgers has still not been traded. Do you have like a package that you would like to see we get it for him? I mean, I get like a realistic one. We can be the guys who are never realistic about anything that happens, like in the history of the Packers. Is there a realistic package that you would be like interested in seeing?
I think if we get their first and second round pick, like that's fine. I feel like
and nothing moving forward, nothing for next year.
Yeah, I mean, maybe throw another like second round pick in there. So I think the last offer that I seen, I'm so bad at dreaming up of like what I want in draft capital, but I seen a first round pick, a second round pick this year, and then a second round pick next year. But then the second round pick is dependent on if Rodgers doesn't retire next year, which I think is realistic. So, like I would take that, and I think ultimately,
if he has a bad year, I think he's out. Right? If if he has a year that like just doesn't end up being the way he wants it to be, he'll probably be done.
See, I think, I don't think that will happen. Like, I think he's going to go to the Jets and have a very good year. I still have in like the back of my mind, like, oh, maybe the deal doesn't get done, and then this.
Yeah, but then what do you do with him if he doesn't get done? Do you play him?
I think you.
So for me, I would play him. I don't care. Like, all right, like you're staying here because this deal didn't get done. We're not going to trade you for peanuts just because like we value you. We think you're a good player. Like, but we also want to move on to Jordan Love. If we can get something for you, you're gone. But if we can't, you're the starter, man. Let's go. Roll him out there. Like, do you think he says no?
I think he understands the business well enough to be like, I mean, these were the cards that are dealt. I don't know. I maybe give Rodgers too much credit because he is kind of like
flaky.
Petty. Well, he's kind of petty, and then like in his words that he speaks, he's not very petty. Like he's like, oh, I understand this business, but like you can definitely tell he's like paying attention to things that are happening, like where he feels slighted. I feel like oh no, go ahead.
I actually thought like him coming out of the like his retreat and then like people telling him like what's going on and not going to the Packers and saying, hey, are you guys shopping me? Right? Like I think that was really telling of the way he's been intaking information. It's from people he trusts, I'm sure, that like, but even that, like, if the people he trusts got information from like bad sources and then they're telling him, like, then it's kind of like a moot point, right? Like, if the person, so let's say I trust you, but you trust this other guy that like, and like,
yeah, no,
he's wrong and he's wrong and you're telling me this stuff and I'm like, well, Pat told me, it's got to be fucking true. Like, I just feel like it could really easily be clarified with like 30-minute conversation with the actual team. Like, hey, yeah, I'm going to go back to Green Bay. I'm going to hook up with the front office here quick and see what the fuck's going on. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think
I don't think that he did that. Doesn't seem that way.
And we mentioned it on the show as like both things could be true. Like Goot could have told him, like, hey, you're a guy, whatever, you're going into this darkness retreat. He goes into this darkness retreat, and then he just has the hounds in his office being like, no, we need to get rid of him. Like, if he's
people just asking around, like,
yeah,
what would you give up for him?
Yeah.
Right. So we need to know what this is.
But yeah, it's old. Like, I don't even see it coming up very often anymore, but there's just so many feelings when you're dealing with like jobs and money and like what it's worth. And like the Packers are getting like a bad rep of like how they treat people, but like anybody that's getting fired or cut or like you don't want to get kept, like it's gonna hurt your feelings, like no matter who you are. So there's no like real good way to do it. I would think the best way to do it is be as transparent as possible. I appreciate transparency, but if someone's like, no, you're not good enough, I don't want to keep you, like it's not gonna not hurt me. Like
right. Like it'd take me a while to appreciate that transparency, right?
Yeah, it won't be like immediate gratification, but I think like a decent example, if we don't want to get we'll probably get down a rabbit hole with this one, is like Lamar Jackson negotiating for himself. Like, he's getting his feelings hurt, like, because they're gonna be like, we don't think you're as good as Deshaun Watson or whoever. Like, we're not gonna give you that kind of money. So it is business, but I would say like the NFL is like the peak of like the toughest businesses you can be in. And if you don't have thick skin and you can't understand that business, you're going to get your feelings hurt, because you'll get your feelings hurt whether you're working at McDonald's and don't get the shift lead position that you applied for.
Oh yeah. Like if you just get passed up for shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've been living that life for fucking 10 years. That like I get passed up for some shit and then I get angry.
If you don't get accepted to the big titty committee, you're done.
I didn't get onto the big titty committee, and then like fucking things went bad and fucking quit everything.
Yeah.
All right. So I've said on this, I think I said on the podcast here that I think I'd be comfortable with no compensation for Aaron Rodgers, right? So if he retires, I'd be fine. Or if we decided you take the entire contract, I don't know if like you can pick up like the voided years, the years that were all goofy and where we pushed things down the road. I don't know if the Jets can pick that up, but if you could get us back to like baseline for 2023, I'd probably be okay with that, right? I'd be like, yeah, I don't care. Like it is what it is. But if I'm looking for like compensation to come back because we're already going to be paying 28 million or whatever of his salary, whatever stupid number it is, then I think that I'd be okay with the 2-2s this year, right? So we know he's going to play this year. He's going to play for the Jets. I know he's going to be good this year for the Jets, right? So whether that's a Super Bowl appearance or not, I can't tell you that, but I know he's going to be a good player for the Jets. He's not going to be like a bum for the Jets. He's not going to come out and do what Russell Wilson did. He will not do that. I have no doubt in my mind that he will not be that guy. So I think 2-2s for this coming year is fair, right? Or just the one first round pick, or both their seconds, the 43 and 44 or 42 and 43, whatever it is. Either of those is fair. And then if he plays any year, we get the following year's second round pick. So if he would play he plays in 2023, we get two second round picks or the first round pick. And then if he plays in 2024, we get their 2025 second round pick. Right. And so every year that he plays, we get the following year's second round pick. I think that would be fair compensation.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't really know. I'm cool with, I thought what you said was pretty smart. Like if we could just get him off of our books somehow, way,
Yeah.
shape, or form where it's not going to dent our cap, we'll take it and move on from there. But I guess if you can get those picks, go get those
Right.
picks. Like if it's not hurting us now, but I think it's definitely the type of news you just put in your back pocket and just wait till whatever happens because it's just kind of annoying at this point that, like, I mean, I guess it's to the point where both teams have kind of moved on, but I just want to see it done. I just want it over.
Yeah, I think that I'm kind of in that same boat, that I'm not real interested in like the speculation of the trade anymore.
Yeah.
I would much rather have a resolution to the trade.
Yes. Let's just get it over with. I'll be happy. Whatever we get for it, I guess I'll take. Like, I'm not gonna complain too much at this point. My hope for him staying looks like it is 99.99% dead. So
yeah, same here. I would much rather have him on the team than off the team. However, at this point, I don't think that that's a realistic scenario.
No. All right. Well,
all right. You got anything else for us, Pat?
Nope, I don't. I was just asking you the same thing. But as always, thank you guys for listening. We appreciate the support. We love you guys. And Mike,
we love
send them home.
All right. For all you suckers that are doubting the Brewers, the Badgers, the Packers, or the Bucks, you can eat our shorts. Roll it.